Hello, good afternoon. This is Antoinette Marie. I hope you are doing fantastically well. We're going to do some great talking today, y'all. But before we do that, I am going to show you this quick video. Well, that was my goal, to show you this quick video. But as things go, you know. But I want to do this. I want to encourage every single one of you. Come in, chat with me on today. This is a remarkable day. And so I'm very excited about what's happening and what people are doing in their lives. I'm telling you, if nobody has ever told you in your life that they are extremely proud of you, I want to let you know I am extremely proud of what everybody is doing. It's so much authenticness that's happening in this world. And I'm just elated. I am so elated. So today what I'm doing is I have been a part of this week a conference that is called The Rise of the Female Entrepreneur. And in this particular conference, and it's all been virtual. So the host, her name is Angela Y. Irvin. And so I want to do a couple of shout outs to her for the invite. And you guys know that's my sister. And I want to just say day one was great. Day two was absolutely great. And so we are looking forward to day 3, day 4, and on day 5. And so if you have an opportunity and you don't necessarily know who she is, definitely go and take a look at what she's doing when it comes to helping women and working with them when it comes to business and entrepreneurship. So, but today what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of what I actually taught in today's session. And so I wanted to offer that to any individual that really is looking to start their own business, really is looking at, what are the steps and stages. I think I got too much stuff going on around here. There you go. What are some of the steps and stages of entrepreneurship? And what are some of the areas that are non-negotiable, right? So, in life, we have areas. I'm looking for my readers. I know they're around here somewhere, but, we have areas in our life that are non-negotiable. And when I say non-negotiable, that really means that you have to do these things, or you should not be doing these particular things, right? And so if you're joining me on YouTube, hey, all of my YouTube subscribers, if you don't have my YouTube information, just go ahead and subscribe. It's Antoinette Marie Speaks. That is my channel handle. So today, we're going to be talking a little bit about from 9 to 5 to business entrepreneurship. And I get this question a lot, and particularly when I am doing strategic life coaching and working with individuals that are just at a point where they've said, I no longer want to do this. It no longer serves me. I did a live on that on this weekend. Whatever doesn't serve you, then stop letting it serve you. It's time to transition, beloved. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about from 9 to 5 to business owner or to business entrepreneurship. So one of the things I always say, tell people that I'm on, but let's get into it, right? So one of the things about having a great idea. So let's say you have a fantastic idea. You really, really know that your idea is going to serve others and you're going to be able to be profitable when it comes to this particular idea. And so the first thing that you want to do, right, is you have to do your research, beloved. A lot of times what happens is that we have a great idea and we just run with the idea. Like, we don't do any research. We don't know who's doing what. We have no idea about where you should research. So that's my number one, is to do your research. And you guys can make comments as well. So we learn as a partnership, right? So do your research. So these are the certain things I want you, or the certain keys I want you to take away, okay? Learn everything about your product or service, right? So you have to learn everything about your product or about your service. So let's say, for instance, if you know that you want to open up a spa, a very elegant spa, what's the first thing that you have to do? So the first thing that you want to do is that you want to do your research. What type of spa? What services are you going to be offering? What are your tangible products that you're also going to be offering? So are you going to have your own massage oil? Are you going to have aromatherapy? Are you going to be offering those services? So that's one particular thing that I want you to really, really, really think about when it comes to doing your research. The other thing is that you have to know your audience, beloved. And so what that really means is that you have to know exactly, sorry. You have to know, who are you going to be servicing? It's okay not to be able to service absolutely everybody, right? So if you know that your business that you want to open up, and you specifically have a segment of individuals that you want to service, so those may be military veterans, those may be women of color, those may be young teenagers. It's okay not to be able to service every single person in the world. But there are certain businesses that you can service absolutely everybody, which basically means that you have a general audience. There's nothing wrong with that. Some people, some individuals, some business owners, they have certain things called niche. So, or people say, oh, that's my niche, and that's good as well. Right? So know your audience and know the buyer's persona, which basically means, what do my buyers really like? So I may just continue to go with that spa idea. What is it that my buyers, or my audience, what is it that my audience really like? Right? Do with this spa, or this boutique spa, are you going to be offering nail service? Is that something that your audience or your buyers really want? The other thing is to research your competitors. And I know a lot of times people say, oh, nobody's like me, I'm the true and only. And that's great. I think there is something very scrumptious in the aspect of being unique. And that's really, really great. And being unique is absolutely beautiful. But you also, beloved, you have to research your competitors. I'll say this, there's not going to be another Amazon, my opinion. Amazon offers everything pretty much for absolutely everybody. If you are a human, Amazon has it. And am I promoting Amazon? Not really. Not really. But yeah, kind of I am, because I own stock in Amazon. But as we go forward, the other thing is that when you look at researching your competitors, you're not trying to simulate to them. You're not trying to duplicate them. You're looking to see, what are they offering? What are the services that they're offering? What are their price points, right? So those are things that you're going to be concentrating on when it comes to doing your research and competitors. The other thing is, find your team. This is very important. You have to have a great and fantastic team, y'all. When I say great and fantastic, this is what I mean. You have to make sure that the people on your team are the right people, right? And so if those particular individuals don't support you, or they're not in tune with your vision and your mission, those may not be the right people for your team, right? Those could possibly be a part of your buyers. They could be your audience, but they may or may not be a part of your team. And so there's so much wealth to that. Hey, Georgette, there's so much wealth to that. Hey, Nia, that I can expand on that in so many different ways. So one of the things I always say when I do strategic life coaching is this. Some people are meant to be on the front porch, but everybody's not meant to be in your living room, right? So there's different degrees when it comes to your circle of influence and your advisors. And we want you to have godly advisors, people that are living righteous lives. You know, if people are always telling you got to hustle, you got to hustle, you got to listen, beloved, you don't have to hustle. You don't have to. There's another term I keep hearing, like, because it's like, these are things that are trending. Oh, you got to be on your hustle. Listen, when you know exactly what God has told you to do, you don't have to hustle. You have to educate yourself, however you go about doing that. And then you have to believe that He got your back, right? Absolutely. Hey, Trina, thank you for joining me on today. So the other thing is, and this is very important. So we're still on number one, do your research. If you guys need me to slow down, just say on any of the platforms, hey, can you slow down a little bit? And I'll slow down just a tad. I have two computers going on here, y'all, so bear with me. Okay, so the other thing, and this is all under do your research. The last key is knowing what your most profitable sales and marketing channels are. You have to know what that means. So let me tell you what that means, right? When it says know what your most profitable sales are, you have to know how much money can you make? How many people can you serve? How many people that are actually really interested in what you're actually bringing forth? How many people? Hey, Jared, thank you for joining me. How many individuals really, truly want what you are offering? I always say to individuals, you have a business when you can be, or your business is the solution for someone's problem. Now, that bit of information changed my way of thinking when it came to my own business, right? So know what is most profitable when it comes to your business, right? So this is a part of research. So you have to do that research and say, okay, I know that I'm going to be offering aromatherapy. How many people will actually, based on research, we're actually coming to my spa and want aromatherapy? So you go and you do your research on that particular area. And then if you also do this, you say, okay, I know that I'm going to have eucalyptus, tea tree, lemongrass, lavender, any other type of aromatherapy oil. How much does that cost? Are you going to buy it in bulk? What does bulk look like, right? How are you going to market it? So think about those things. So number two, and this is like the number, I won't necessarily say it's number one, but it's really the one I think new emerging entrepreneurs really just bypass. And here it is. Create a business plan. Create a business plan, beloved. Create a business plan. And I know you're going to say, what does that mean? What does it look like? Let me tell you. All right. When you decide that you're going to open up a business, right? Creating a business plan gives you several things. An overview. So you have to have an overview of your particular business. You have to have a business plan, right? So Your business plan should consist of several things. Write these down, okay? Write these things down. An overview says this is who my company is. This is what we do, okay? And it's kind of like how you actually got to where you got to. All right, so you're going to be talking about some history behind your endeavor. You're talking about some history behind your endeavor, right? So number 2 is create a business plan. Thank you everyone for joining me. So within that business plan, you need an overview, right? It talks about the history of your business and how you came up with this particular business, right? Number 2, you're going to also have to have an executive summary. An executive summary actually sums up your entire company. So I'm gonna push away from the word business. I'm gonna call it company, right? So your executive summary talks about your company and the ins and outs of it. Typically, an executive summary is 1 page in length, right? Please don't make your executive summary 5 pages. That's not a summary, right? That's not a summary, right? So the other thing that you need is a company description, right? Hey, Carrie. Thank you, Carrie. That's right. Take some good notes on this, beloved. So you need a company description. So in your description, you are, just think about the words. You are describing your company. So let's say, for instance, you're going to open up, let's say with the salon or the spa, right? I like the spa idea. So what's the name of the company? Who do you serve? How did this company come about? What's your history in the area of either cosmetics or in the area of owning a business? Do you have some background in, let's say, for instance, being a CFO or chief executive officer? You know, a company description just says, this is who we are, this is what our company does, and this is who we serve. This is who we are, this is what our company does, and this is who we are, okay? I'm going to move on. The other thing you want to make sure that your business plan has is your objectives. What are objectives? Okay, so I'm coming on here because I'm going to give you absolutely every single thing I believe that you need to start your own company, your own business, right? So the other thing that you're going to need is objectives, a vision and a mission statement. You must have a vision. Hey, Elke, you must have a vision. You must have a mission statement. People sometimes will say, oh, they're really both the same. No, ma'am, no, sir. They are not the same. They are not the same. Your mission says who you are and why you're doing what you're doing. Okay? That's what your mission statement says. Your vision statement talks about how you're going to get there. Right? So you'll hear people say, let's say ABC Spa, we are so on and so forth. And then they'll comment with the vision, they'll say, through relaxation techniques, through massage, through so on and so forth. That's the vision. That's the vision piece, okay? If you want a little bit more of that information, let me know and we can do some life coaching and things such as that. Not really sure what happened to my screen right there, but we're keeping going. So the other thing is, to that is, broadcast has expired. Don't know why that did that, but I know we are live. So let's keep going. All right. The other thing is information about the market and the industry that you're entering. You have to have information about the market. You don't want to just start a company or start a business because it feels good and it looks good, right? You want to have marketing and strategic plans about that particular industry. So you're going to have to get a wealth of information about, let's keep with the spa. You're going to have to get a wealth of information about what does the market look like? How many spas are in your state? How many spas are in your city? How many spas are in your particular area? I always say you can't go wrong with doing a 5-mile radius, 5 miles east, west, north, and south. How many boutiques like yours, spas, are in that particular area? You have to make sure that you have that information in your business plan. Let's move on. Continuation with that for your business plan is you have to make sure that you have strategies that you're going to follow when you enter into the market. Some people call it a model. That's fine. You can call it a model. A lot of times where people get confused on here is that they will always say, well, I want to have my minds like somebody else's. And you don't have to create whatever you're creating, your business, necessarily exactly how somebody else's is. But I always say it's really important to have a model. It's really important to have a floor, an actual floor plan on what you believe that this is going to look like, your business is going to look like. Here's the thing. Nobody's company, nobody's business is going to be exactly like yours. You want to know why? Because you are so authentically unique, and your stamp, your soul, your spirit is going to be on your business, right? So you don't have to worry about that. But I want you to remember that you want to get a model, all right? You want to have some type of model, right? The other thing is, think about the team you're going to have. What does your team, hey Keisha, what does your team look like? One of the things I always say to my clients is this: when you're thinking about creating or starting something new, you cannot do it by yourself. And those of you that follow me a lot, I always say you cannot do anything without collaboration. You must have collaboration. The times of the Lone Ranger, Lone Rangerette, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone, y'all. So who will your team be? You got to know that. So in your business plan, you have to know and have some background information on who your chief executive officer is, if that's what you're calling that individual. If you have a nonprofit, and nonprofits are businesses, beloved, okay? And I want to say for the record, people always ask me, Miss Antoinette Marie, I have a nonprofit I'm thinking about implementing, but I can't make any money. Yes, you can. Nonprofits make money all the time. Millions and millions of dollars nonprofits make, beloved. Okay, so don't be deceived by the word nonprofit. Nonprofit is a entity name. That's an entity name, like a limited liability company, like a S Corp or a C Corp, or a partnership or sole proprietorship, okay? But nonprofits make money. Think about this real quick. How do you think that you have, just think about any nonprofit, Salvation Army, the United Way, any nonprofit, they have CEOs, right? You think these CEOs are working for free? No, sir. No, ma'am. All right, let's move on. Also in your plan, you want to make sure that you have an operational plan. Let me go back. So to your team. So you want to make sure that you have in there who is going to be your CFO, who is Chief Financial Officer. Sorry about that. Who also is your CEO. CEO means Chief Executive Officer. I'm not going to go in on this particular webinar about like what each in depth on what each person does, but I will tell you this. If you're not, if your CEO has to be that individual that knows the ins and outs of the company. That's what your CEO has to know. The ins and out. Your CEO is basically like your greatest cheerleader. The CEO is the individual that says yes, that says no. And depending on your company, depending on how it's set up, many companies also have boards. And particularly when you're talking about nonprofits, but even for-profits have what we call an advisory board or just a board. So you want to make sure that you have that as well. CFO is a chief financial officer. So a chief financial officer should be, in my opinion, this is Antoinette Marie speaks, right? Should have a background in accounting. Okay, should have a background in accounting, beloved, because that's very important, because your chief financial officer is going to be running the books. It's going to be running numbers. So you want to make sure he or her has a background in accounting. I personally would say at least minimum is a CPA, certified public accountant. That's really what you want. The next thing in your business plan is an operational plan. Who's going to do what? That's what operational. How is the business going to be operated? Where is it going to be? You're going to do brick and mortar. You want to have an operational plan. The other thing you want to have is a financial plan. What are the expectations that you have for your business as far as finances? How much money? Hey, Tashana, how much income? I'll say it that way. We're so used to saying money, but money is very different than income. I'll teach about that on another segment. But financially, what is it that you are expecting in quarter one, quarter two? We could say Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. When you hear individuals say that, they're smart, but all Q means is quarter. So the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. Okay. And you're also going to have an appendix. And your appendix is basically more detailed information that you want to share. People say all the time, why do I need a business plan? Well, unless you have a very, very wealthy uncle or aunt, you're going to have income, finances, that's going to help you get this business off the ground, right? Now, you could do this in multiple ways. You can pull all your savings. Never do that. You can ask family members. Even if you ask family members for income, beloved, they want to see a business plan. And if they don't ask you for a business plan, they should be asking you for a business plan, okay? If you are transitioning from 9 to 5 or 9 to 5 job to a owning your own company or being an entrepreneur, having entrepreneurship, then you will also want to make sure and talk to your HR department. If you are still working a 9 to 5, you want to make sure, can you pull from your 401k? I'm not a CPA. I won't tell you if you should or if it could, but speak to your HR department. You can pull, in a time of hardship, you can pull from your 401k. But you need to go and do your research concerning that as well. All right. If you have stocks, if you invest in ETFs, if you invest in REITs, I'm speaking more on the investor arena, you can also do some things with that. The other thing I want to say when it comes to outlining your funding options is that you can also apply for grants. You can apply for scholarships, and then you can do also awards that you can look into as well. So Carrie just asked me, would you say the owner of a nonprofit should be the CEO? It depends on, Carrie, how your nonprofit is set up. Now, in 2002, I had a nonprofit called Youth Entering into Excellence. and it was pretty much my baby. And because God had given me the vision for this organization, it was a 501c3. We had this organization for 10 years, and it was time for me to let it go and to dissolve it. One of the things was I was the president of the nonprofit. I wasn't a chief executive officer. I was the president, and we set it up that way because of go back to what I said before, our organizational structure. It was set up as president, vice president, and then you also have your treasurer, secretary, and then we had a couple other individuals that were on our board. And so you can be a CEO as well. I've seen them be done both ways. But we can talk a little bit more offline if you want to do that. But yes, you can be the owner. Now, let me say something about ownership, and then I'm going to move on. Ownership. So if you have a nonprofit, you came up with the idea, but you don't own a nonprofit. Okay. So a nonprofit is an entity within itself. And then particularly when you're talking about a nonprofit, you are the, what I call the originator. You are the founding member of a nonprofit, but you don't own a nonprofit. Nonprofit serves the people. So be really careful when you're setting your nonprofit up. You have the great vision to it, and you have maybe even come up with a mission statement and so on and so forth. But remember, organizations and companies, and particularly nonprofits, are entities of themselves, right? So you want to be careful with that. So next thing is I want to talk a little bit about grants and awards. So many of you know that I have a couple companies and businesses that are pretty successful. And one of the things I want to say is that there are so many opportunities out here, particularly when it comes to grants, and particularly when it comes to contractual work. You can respond to an RFP, responds for, which basically you're responding to a proposal. You can look for proposals that all organizations have them. You can work and be a consultant for any organization that serves people, any organization that serves or works with computers, training and technical assistance. You can do almost absolutely anything. Your particular state has grants, has scholarships as well, and they also put out memos for RFPs. They want you to respond. They need help. The step up from that is declaring who you are and the services that your business actually offers. You can be if you are considered as a minority, you can get a minority certification, minority business owner certification. If you are a woman, you are considered as a minority as well. So do your research. Do your research. Thanks, Terrence, for joining me. I appreciate you. So do your research in that. And then you also can dive into federal contracts as well. Those take a little bit longer to actually obtain, and you have to go through a lot to get them, but you can get them. And many times, from my own experience, once you have solidified a federal contract and you do exceptional work, depending on if that particular contract is for a year, 2 years, or 3 years, many times when you do really, really great work, they will hire you again as well. So keep that in mind. Okay. So let's go to our next. So I gave you all the information so far about funding, where you can find it. Oh, the other thing too is that you can find lots of opportunities at your Chamber of Commerce, your state Chamber of Commerce. You can find a lot of opportunities there as well. Now, I'm not telling you that it's going to be easy. I'm never going to tell you it's going to be easy, but I will tell you that it will be worth it. All right. So let's do number 4. Number 4, create the structure for your business. So we talked a little bit about that already. So you have to decide on, do you want this company to be a nonprofit? So is this a nonprofit? And there is a big difference between a nonprofit and a for-profit company, right? Or do you decide on you want to have a corporation? What does that look like? Do your research on that. When you have a corporation, there's different levels of corporations. You can have an S corp. It could be a C corp as well. All of that really has to do with taxes and your tax liability. You can have a limited liability company. I hear a lot of times people say LLC. You can say LLC. It really means the exact same thing. You can also endeavor into a partnership, right? You can also endeavor into be a sole proprietor, right? Sometimes people will do sole proprietorship. For myself, as a person that teach or facilitate and is an instructor, a business instructor, and I've taught at the university level the same curriculum, I would do my best to stay away from sole proprietorship. And the reason is because you have an immense amount of tax liability when you are a sole proprietorship, when you opt for that business structure. Okay, so you do what you want. I'm just saying from my experience, that may not be the best, but if you decide that's what you want to do, then you can do that. I will always say get or secure, retain a certified public accountant, beloved. It will teach you your CPA, if he or she is exceptional, they should also be giving you information throughout the entire year. So when it comes to taxes, I know a lot of times people will say, oh, it was at the end of the year, or they'll wait until like April 1st, or this year, you don't have to do taxes from what I understand until July, and that's because of COVID. So the IRS pushed the time back to July, I believe. But the other thing that you want to also think about is you should be thinking about taxes fourth quarter, right? So we talked about their 4 quarters. So all you got to do is just do math. January, February, March, first quarter, right? April, May, June, July, August, September, November, October, November, December, right? October, November, December, you want to really be thinking about, do I have all my documentation? Have I gathered up all my receipts? Can I write this off? Can I write that off? Can I write my mileage off? Can I write my square footage off? But I can tell you this, your CPA can tell you all of that, right? So get a CPA. The other thing, number 5, we're going to talk about number 5. Let me just change this. So number 5 is leverage your resources. Leveraging your resources. So one of the ways that you can leverage your resources is you can barter. And I know like a lot of times people say, oh, that's old school. Nobody barters anymore. Yes, we do. We do. We barter services. We barter services, beloved. And it's not the only way, but this is what bartering is. Let's say, for instance, so for me, I'm a strategic and leadership consultant. I'm an author, and I do executive coaching. That's not who I am. That's my business. That's what I do, right? And hey, Patrice. And if I needed for someone to, let's say, find me a grant, because there are people, they're grant searchers that are out here as well. And they need my expertise, or they may need me to speak, or they may need executive life coaching. I will barter those services. They provide me with a service. No money has been exchanged, right? I provide them with a service. Okay? Everything that was old school ain't bad, y'all. I'm just going to say that to you, okay? So that's one way you can leverage your resources, right? And the other way is ask a friend who may have a business, but don't just ask any friend that has a business. Talk to a friend that has a successful business in the area of what success actually looks like to you. Success is not just about making, six figures. Success is not just about making millions and millions of dollars, because you know what? There are very wealthy individuals out here that on paper, their paper is long, but that mindset is a struggle. Okay. So you want to connect with friends that are successful in your eyes, right? Number 3, join an online group. Because that's free. You can join an online group. I think almost I know Facebook may have something. They have groups all the time. I have groups. So you can join that. It doesn't cost you anything. And then you know what? If you don't like it, you vote with your feet and you just say, you know what? I'm on to the next, right? So that's something that you can kind of get a sneak peek of, a little bit about what's happening out there in the market, right? So the other thing is you can invest in online education. There's so many ways that you can get education. I think university is absolutely great when it's absolutely great. I think that doing a community college could be absolutely great as well. I think that when you're doing continuing ed or CEU, continuing education units, I think that's well too. Whatever suits you. Listen, with all these degrees that I have, I tell you what, YouTube has helped me more than, I won't say more, but YouTube has been a great help to me. I will tell you that. And Google things. You can Google things all the time, but you can also look at upping up your level if you have a LinkedIn account. They also can give you some educational tools on there as well that can help with marketing and advertisement. All right, number 6. I'm doing good on our time. We're going to be done in about 15 minutes. So thank you for staying with me. Thank you for joining me. And I definitely want to say, share this video. I know these are some good nuggets, and I wanted to just make sure as we are getting ready to transition, as we are, they're finding things out concerning COVID and what's happening. And I've heard today on CNBC where they were talking about a new, actually it's not new, but a possible, not cure, but things that will kind of help in the progression of COVID and helping them, individuals, to bounce back. So listen, as we transition to the area where we really truly want to be, I wanted to give everyone the opportunity to get this business, this company off the ground. Number 6, leave on a good note. And I can't say this enough. If you have, if you're currently at a 9 to 5 and you know that this 9 to 5, it's no longer serving you, right? And you have a fantastic idea. And let's say you've received your financial endowment, however that came about. Let's say you have done your research, you're ready to go, and as soon as you leave your 9 to 5, you're ready to go to jump right into entrepreneurship. Or you have a really great idea and you're very excited. You're very excited about, your new idea and telling people about it. Let me say this to you, please. If you've put your 2 weeks in, please work your entire 2 weeks. Please work your entire 2 weeks, beloved. Okay, because so the 2 weeks, depending on where you are level-wise in your company or organization, right? So typically, if you are an executive leader, you may have to do 60 days, right? You may have to give a 60-day notice. If you are middle management, you may have to give a 30-day notice. They may just say give a 2-week notice. This is what I want to say. When you are, hey, Carrie, your last day is Friday. Oh my goodness, Carrie, we got to talk. We have to talk and tell us about that. You're going to have to tell us about it. But I want to say this. Work your entire notice period, whether it's 2 weeks, 30 days, or 60 days. You want to work that. Okay. Let me tell you the reason, the other thing. Don't gossip around the office. I know that you're excited. I know that you're like, oh, yes, I have this great business that you're so on, and it's so scrumptious, and you just want to tell everybody. You want to tell it. If you want to talk to your friends about it, that's great. That's not a problem. However, don't go around the office and, have a negative attitude and spreading rumors and so on and so forth. You don't want to do that. You don't want to go and say, hey, I have let's say you work for a childcare company, right? A childcare organization or business. And now all of a sudden you've started your own childcare facility. You have a childcare facility, you're starting your own childcare company. Don't go around and pick off, hey, Jennifer, I miss you too, beloved. Don't go around picking and taking your current employer's customers. Don't do that, beloved. Don't do it. Don't do it, because I don't want to see you in a lawsuit. That's one reason why not doing it, but don't do that. And the reason too is that you don't need to do it. What is for you is for you. And you don't have to go pecking at other people's customers, right? So, and don't even gossip about it. This is what I would say that you do. When you know it's going to be your last day, listen, you can do whatever you want, but you could do this. Buy a cake and say, I'm going to miss you. Just put, I'm going to miss you on there. Listen, and let that, let that be it. If you're going to do absolutely anything, hey, my beautiful queen, Tracy, that's that. The other thing is complete all your assignments. So I remember when I was, I was in prior to entrepreneurship and being a business owner, I had staff that left and they opened up their own companies. And I think one of the worst things was to have individuals that I was still paying, or a company was still paying, and they had just checked out. They were already gone. Once they gave that 2-week notice, once they gave that 2-week notice, they had checked out. I mean, they were taking 2-hour lunches. Couldn't find them in the office, on the cell phone, feet up on desk. It was amazing. It was amazing. It was amazing. So don't do that, because we are women and men of virtue and standard, and that's not godly, and that's not in alignment with what Spirit God wants us to do. I'm laughing a little bit because I'm reminiscing on something that I remember from way back in the day, but don't do that, all right? Complete all your assignments, right? Complete all your assignments. And if they ask you, and I know this is a big one for people, I heard people say all the time, a young lady that I was working with, she said, I'm going to tell you something, Miss Antoinette Marie. And if they ask me to train my replacement, I'm not going to train him or her. Wait a minute. You can't say you're not going to train your replacement and you're still on paper. I know you feel a certain way. I know you're just really ready to check out, beloved. I totally get that. But you cannot say to your employer, and I'm not getting ready to train my replacement. That's not the right thing to do, right? What you do is this. This is why you don't, Elkie, I'm glad you asked. You don't do that. You don't say that because you are still that company's employee, right? You are still you're still getting income from them. You're still cashing those checks that has that company's name on top, right? Right. And always remembering the golden rule. I know, I hear you. I hear you. But one of the things is that no matter how people treat you, how you treat other people says more about you than who's receiving it. Okay. All right. So I want you to know that as well. So if they say, hey, you know what, we have a new person that's coming in, can you show him or her the tools of the trade and so on and so forth? Do that, beloved. Do that. And let me tell you what that does. Come closer. That gives you an opportunity to make a fantastic, great impression on someone that is going to be replacing you. Because let me tell you what happens when you leave. There's going to be so much gossip about what you didn't do, who you were not, how bad you were, so on and so forth. And ultimately, you really, it is what it is. But you have an opportunity to sow good seed into that particular person. So complete all your final assignments, get it done beautifully. Don't have to do any assignments. Do it with pride. Leave your stamp on it. Okay. And leave without burning bridges. That's one of the things too. And I think Tracy put it in there. Listen, you never know. You never know what you are going to need from your past employer. Okay. And particularly if you have been with an employer 5, 10, 15 years, listen, let me tell you an inside trade secret when it comes to transitioning from 9 to 5 to business owner. Come on closer. Let me tell you, this is it. Don't burn bridges. When you leave that company, okay, let your supervisor know that you're leaving the company. Don't hide it. Don't hide it, beloved. And then you also let that particular supervisor know how much, if it's true, they have helped you, assisted you, how much you admire that particular person. Then you do this. You ask them for a letter of recommendation. Now, that's something most people are not going to tell you. I'm telling you because I know it's true and I know it's going to be necessary for your next level in your career. Ask for a letter of recommendation. And they may say to you, well, you're starting your own company. Why do you need a letter of recommendation? The reason why you need a letter of recommendation is because you want to always have that piece of paper just in case somebody says, oh, no, they did horribly. They were horrible. This is what you do. When that comes back at you, you just say, oh, that's what they said? Well, my supervisor actually said this. Would you like a copy? That's why you keep that, right? Okay. The other thing is, here's your golden nugget for today. You also, after you've done, don't break chain of command. You get a letter from your immediate supervisor. You request it. Then you also, if possible, send an email, if you can, send an email to the CEO, president, whoever of the company. Depends on how large that company is, but it doesn't hurt to do this, and let them know. Hello, my name is Antoinette Marie Williams. I just wanted to let you know I appreciate my time spent here. I've learned this in my tenure here, in my tenure. Say exactly how many years you've been there. Say exactly if you have transitioned from like your ladder. So if you came in and you were an admin, then you talk about the time that you spent as an admin. Then you go into, then I became a administrative coordinator. Then you talk about that, what you learned. Then you go up that step ladder. And in this email, please, beloved, make the email just something, maybe half a page, not anything longer. Because CEOs and executives, they don't really have a lot of time to be reading all that anyway, but you want to do that. And then this is what you say. You say, I want to thank you so much for allowing for me and my expertise to be a contributor in your company. Say the name of the company, so on and so forth. I appreciate you and ABC company, and I look forward to continuing doing great work, so on and so forth. Send that to the leader of the company. If they respond, great. Now, also, when you send that, I'm diving in deep right now. When you send that email, check the box that says you want to know if they actually read it. So there's a way on your email where it says that they pick it up. You want to make sure that you can see. Do the same thing with your supervisor as well. Because a lot of times, just in case, I'll say not a lot of times, but just in case you send it to your supervisor and they say, oh, I never got your request. Yeah. All right. Leave on a good note. Leave your supervisor, and your last day. On your last day, you do a little bitty letter. Let me show you. Y'all, what I teach my my clients. You go and you do a little bitty, just like this. Okay. You don't have to be Hallmark. Okay. Put it on here. You just say, thank you so much for the time, for our time together here at ABC. That's it. Put it on there. Get an envelope. They come with it, right? Leave it on their desk. Tape it to their door. Say it's from you. When I tell you that goes a ways, they will never forget about you. And particularly if you are an outstanding employee. People don't want to lose outstanding employees. All right, number 7, don't forget the smaller planning details. Okay, choose the right social media channel that you want for your company or for your business. All right, so if you want to use Facebook, you want to use Instagram, you want to use Twitter, you want to use LinkedIn, so on and so forth. But I will say this to you: don't just depend on those particular social media channels, platforms to promote your business. You're gonna have to do external advertisement as well, above and beyond those particular ones. The other thing is keep up to date with your emails, right? When you keep up to date with your emails, I really just mean that check your spam folder. Check your spam folder, because I tell you, you will find some great emails in there. You're like, oh my goodness, because you know how technology works. You might send an email to somebody new and your computer, your system doesn't recognize it, and it may go into your spam. So check your spam. The other thing I want to say, file your taxes. We talked a little bit about that. I tell you now, file your taxes. If you are a sole proprietor, file your taxes. I don't care what your entity structure is. You want to file your taxes. Somebody type in the comment section, file your taxes. All right. Number 8, choose your new office space. So this is like the scrumptious part. You're excited. You got your business plan done. You've looked at your marketing. You've researched. You have a logo. You have your mission statement. You have a vision statement. Beloved, are you going to work from home? Are you going to rent? Are you going to lease? Are you going to purchase a building? Thank you, Elkie and Carrie. Yes, file your taxes. Are you going to work from home? Are you going to rent? Are you going to purchase? Did a very wealthy auntie give you, $750,000 and you can just go and purchase a building? Come closer. Don't do that. When you are in a brand new business, and particularly, no particulars, I'll say that, but I will say some of the people that I've worked with have business ideas for restaurants. let me say this, y'all. Do not buy. You don't have to go out and buy a building. Lease your building. It takes a restaurant literally almost 5 years before they make a profit, right? So you don't want to have this brick and mortar business, and what if they shut us down again? It's just not, even if they don't shut us down, it's just not a good business model to go out and just purchase this grand spanking new. You can do something else with those funds, right? Okay. And are you going to have your business be downtown or in the suburbs? And that's it. The only thing I would say left is to maintain your portfolio or your Vista or your CV. People call it a resume, but it's larger than a resume, right? So if you are an author, you want to be able to put those things on. Carrie, listen, it's a little warm here today. It's a little warm here today, so this hair it's getting on my nerves. It really is getting on my nerves a little bit. So Carrie, you had a question. Same advice for a community center. Tell me, what advice are you speaking about? If you're talking about structure of the entity, I still would say the same advice. If you're speaking about if you're speaking about if you should build a building or if you should own a building, it depends on the community. Thank you, beloved. It depends on the community, really. Me personally, if it's going to be a community center, depends on the community, depends on the financials. That's something that you really want to look at. Is it more profitable, or does it make more sense for you to have to lease, just so that you can kind of feel like, okay, do I really want to stay in this particular building? Maybe there's a building that's larger down the street. What happens when you get this community center and you're just overflowing, but you have this building that you purchased? On the other hand, this is the reason why I say it really kind of depends. If somebody comes to you and they're saying, listen, I no longer am going to be in this particular area. I just really want to get rid of the building, and I'm going to give it to you for, and let's say it's 10,000 square feet, and they're going to put it on the market for 25K. That might be worth doing. So you got to look at every single thing. You want to look at every single area when it comes to that. And I want to say this to you as well. Get an inspection. Have a commercial inspector to inspect any brick and mortar business, building that you are thinking to purchase. Have it to go through a licensed commercial building inspector. Okay, so I'm teaching you guys and ladies things that I have experienced from myself. Many of you know from my book, The Level Up, I talk a little bit about my experience in real estate as a real estate agent, and then also as a real estate broker and owning a real estate brokerage. I can't say that enough. Get an inspector, an actual commercial inspector, somebody that knows what commercial buildings should look like, right? Not a home inspector. Don't get that one. So I hope that this, from 9 to 5 to entrepreneurship, I hope that this really helped you in some way or another. Share the video. Hopefully that it can help all of the individuals that are coming out of this and they're saying, listen, I got a fantastic idea and I want to get it off the ground. If you need strategic life coaching and you want me to be your advisor, your coach, your strategist, and help you strategize, send me an email. You can do that as well. One of the things my daughter said to me the other day, she said, Mom, you've been doing this stuff for a long, long time. And yeah, I have been doing it for a long, long time. And I'm really, really blessed to be so transparent and be so flexible have gone through a lot of experiences, and particularly business-wise and pain-wise too, to be able to teach and to instruct this. And so if you are a military veteran and you have a military spouse, that's one of the things with my company, To Lead. It's Roman numeral 2, LEAD. That's our company. That's our company. And what it stands for is International Institute for Leadership Development. And so that company was started in 2010. And so if you are a military family that really needs help in transitioning from being in living on base and being a soldier and coming into what we say citizen life is, that's one of the things that we do as well. And so being able to help individuals transition. I guess somebody told me the other day, you are the transition strategist. And I guess just because I've had to transition so many times as well. So I want to help and to see you win, so we can come up with a plan. We can come up with a payment schedule that you can just bust out and just do some great and magnificent things. Carrie, I want to say thank you so much for letting us know. It sounds like you're going to be doing a community center. I'm really excited to hear about that. So you have individuals that will help and to support you as well. So when you're ready, tell us a little bit more. Elkie, thank you so much. If there is nothing else, let me read what Elkie said. Great video. Most of my family members are business owners for years, and this was a great advice. Awesome points. Oh, you're welcome, Elkie. You are a fantastic woman. If nobody has ever told you that, I want to just let you know that. So as well, you will see me again on Thursday to bring in Bridging the Nations. We're really excited about that. Continue to share that as well. I hope that you have a fantastic day. And as always, if you have a husband or a wife, you have a spouse, let them know that you love them. Let them know that they are important to you. And as well as you have children, give them a great, great hug. Let your children know that you love them and that they are important to your lifespan, that they are very important to your lifespan. And enjoy yourself. It's so beautiful outside. Enjoy yourself. I appreciate you. I love you. If you, again, need strategic life coaching and strategic planning for your transition, hit me up. Let me know. We can get you going, and so that you can start living your most authentic, your most brilliant, your most loving life absolutely ever. We want you to do that. All right. This is Antoinette Marie. I hope that you have a fantastic and wonderful, wonderful day. Be well. Take care. Bye.